Okay, guys, I just want to take a second to tell you about this program here, Sandboxie. Now, when I was talking about Komodo antivirus, they have the sandboxing capabilities built into their antivirus, so you can run in a sandbox right through them. But if you just go to your web browser and type in Sandboxie and do a search for that, you'll come up to this page here. Okay, now this is a page that kind of shows you a computer with Sandbox and one without. Now, if you're in the Sandbox browser, if you see here, everything from Firefox, Internet Explorer, wherever program you're running, comes into the Sandbox and gets quarantined right here. Now, unless you let it out of that Sandbox, you're relatively safe. You can recover files and stuff out of the Sandbox, but once you recover them out, they go into your computer just like if you didn't have no Sandbox running. So you need to address scanning them or checking those files before you let them out. But for just normal going out looking for stuff, this is very safe web browsing because you don't have to worry about the a lot of the drive-by sites and stuff where you just click on something and you're infected. This will save you a lot of those times. And up here, if you see here, without the Sandbox, it shows you the information coming in and shows you how it gets sent out around to the different components of the computer. Now, you can read all this, go to the website and read it if you want. But here it says that web browsing, secure web browsing, running your web browser under the protection of Sandboxie means that malicious software downloaded by the browser is trapped in a sandbox and can be discarded trivially. So that means it can easily be emptied, your Sandbox can. And theoretically, everything gets contained in the Sandbox. So if you have any threats and you delete the contents, you've deleted the threats also. Now, enhanced privacy here. Browsing history cookies and cache temporary files collected while web browsing stay in the Sandbox and won't leak out into the windows. Secure email. Viruses and other malicious software that might be hiding your email can't break out of the Sandbox and infect your real system. So you can kind of look over this site and read it yourself. I've already got it downloaded, and when you go to download it, you'll get an option to change the color, the border. So if you see there's a green border here, if I go to here, the Sandbox, now we're looking for control or Sandboxie control. Okay, now if I go to configure, or no, I mean, pardon me, if I go to Sandbox default box and then run down here to Sandbox settings. Okay, now here is where you can change the color. You can change this borderline color that you see around the box to any color you want here. I usually just use green. You have some other settings through the thing. There is a lot of settings. I'm not going to go through all of them. But basically, if you're in a Sandbox, you're relatively safe. Here, while we're in a Sandbox, let me just show you something here. Okay, now I've already downloaded this, and we're running in a Sandbox environment now. But just say I wanted to download this. Okay, now here my download's going to start. See, my download's downloading here. But now, see this box that pops up here? If I want to recover that into my computer, I can just hit recover. But if I recover that into my computer, that's letting it out of the Sandbox into my computer. So okay, now so I recovered it because I know this is a safe download and it went into my computer. A lot of pictures, a lot of things you're going to do if you're in a Sandbox browser, if you're going to be downloading pictures, files, or anything like that. You either have to recover them and let them out into the computer, or not use Sandbox. Okay, Sandbox, I usually tell people Sandbox is a good place to go if you're looking for something, or if you're going to any kind of bad sites or anything like that, because this will be a really good line of protection for you. Now, like in Windows 7 here, Windows XP, I believe they just have an icon in the tray, but you can click on this arrow here, and you'll see here the Sandbox kite looking thing. If I just right click on that, you'll see where it says default box. I can come right up here and delete contents. Okay, now I have one thing in here in my Sandbox, and if I come down and delete it, it's gone. So that's as simple as it is. If you're in a browser and you download something, it goes straight into your computer. With Sandbox, it quarantines it until you let it out. Now, I meant to show you that. This kite looking thing, the Sandbox web browser, that is what your icon will be to get into the Sandbox. Usually I use Google Chrome, but the thing about this Sandbox.IE is whatever web browser you have as your default web browser, that is what Sandbox.IE will use for the browser. Now mine is Google Chrome here, and if I just say if I wanted to go into something different than Google Chrome, I just change my default browser to Firefox, and then this would be Firefox instead of Google Chrome. So the other thing is, when you first use Sandbox.IE, for the first 30 days it'll go right into your web browser like normal. After the first 30 days you'll get a pop-up window with a 10-second delay, and then you click on it and it goes right in after 10 seconds. That's just them trying to get you to pay for the program, but you can run this for free, and it is a very good program. So why not look up Sandbox.IE and just give it a try.